It is Monday. Welcome back to another edition of the Quick Bricks DFS podcast. This is the episode number 10. It is November 5th. Welcome back, guys. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Looking forward to a new week. Saw a lot of catches over in the SC Slack chat, so that was pretty good. Glad to see that as always. Guys from NASCAR putting out good plays. Guys from NFL are putting out good plays. Let's hope that we can put out some good plays today in the NBA. 9 games on the slate tonight. And I'll be flat out honest. It seems like the slates just keep getting crappier and crappier and crappier, and just tougher to find value, tougher to know which studs that you want to actually pay up for. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump right in. Miami at Detroit. Looks like Miami's whole team is questionable. Dragic, D Wade, Tyler Johnson, Hassan Whiteside. Everybody's questionable for tonight going into this game with Detroit at Detroit. It's never a good sign. Obviously, with it going against a team like Detroit who has Drummond and Blake Griffin, especially having some of the, Whiteside being questionable. Obviously, we'd be looking at Bam Adebayo, look at Kelly Olynyk maybe. Think another guy you can look at maybe is Derek Jones Jr. at 3.3 if both Dragic and Tyler Johnson, again, are to sit. They're going to need wing play, and might even look at Wayne Ellington down there at like 3.2K. So I would definitely watch that game. Obviously, I like Drummond and Griffin. Hard not to. If those guys are to sit, though, for Miami, this one could turn pretty ugly pretty quick. So be very weary. There's no line on the game. Like I said, they're waiting to see. So I'm going to assume that's probably a lower total. There is quite a few low totals on tonight's board. So Houston at Indy, 212 on the total, -1 for the Pacers. Tyreek Evans has finally came down to playable price. He's 4.5K. He's actually been playing pretty dang well lately off the bench, so I would definitely be looking at him. Oladipo's put up 50.5 in his last two or more, 58 and 50.5 in his last two. He's 8.2 tonight. Obviously, this game has a very low total, but, Harden's back. It seems like this game could probably maybe go over this total in my thinking. Anyway, Vic, Sabonis is 5.9. We know Sabonis has his upside, has plenty of 40-point upside. He's done it 2 or 3 times already this season. For Houston, not exactly looking at the high-priced guys because the Patriots have been really good on defense so far this season. I don't think I'll be paying up for Harden here. I don't think I'll be paying for Chris Paul, even though Paul, I think, is rather cheap. But this isn't a great matchup for him. And Capella, I don't play Capella on the road, even though him and Harden have a great connection. I don't see this game being the one for Capella. So I'll be looking more at Carmelo. Carmelo, hey, he's been playing well. I know we talk bad about him and joke about Carmelo, but he's been playing pretty well. He's getting a lot of minutes. So Carmelo at 5.6 is not a bad look. Gerald Green at 3.8 with no Eric Gordon should probably get some more minutes behind Paul and James Harden at the wing. James Ennis at 3.9 is not a bad dart if you want to look that way. He's cheap. Should be getting starter minutes at the small forward spot. So Ennis at 3.9, don't hate it. Excuse me. Move along, Cleveland at Orlando, 213 on the total, -4.5 for Orlando at home. Orlando on a back-to-back. Cleveland just got their first win the other night. I don't really like a lot for Cleveland. I'll be flat out honest. I really don't. I like Rodney Hood at 5.4. I like Larry Nance at 5K flat. I don't hate. I don't know. Sexton's been getting into Clarkson's minutes, so I'm not a huge fan there. Tristan, maybe if you feel like it. I probably won't be playing any of him. There's plenty more games that are way better than this game. For Orlando, Fournier. He put up another 30-plus fantasy point performance for me last night. Helped me cash. He's been one of the more consistent guys they have. Terrence Ross at 4.4. I would be watching Jonathan Isaac's status again tonight. He sat yesterday. Terrence Ross got some pretty good minutes. Jonathan Simmons got some pretty good minutes. Mo Bamba had a really good game last night. 28-plus fantasy points in 2 of his last 3. He's 4K flat. Wouldn't hate that. Well, I think 28 minutes, maybe. I don't think he's put up. He could have put up. He had a really good game last night. Sorry. Augustine at 4.1, 20-plus in his last 3, 34.8 last game against San Antonio last night, actually. He's coming around a little bit, so DJ Augustine, wouldn't mind maybe looking at him at 4.1 as a cheap guard. Chicago at the Knicks. This game, you really want to play THJ, and he's questionable, and he could probably have a monster game. If he does play, I will be playing him at 7.6. Most definitely will be playing him. If he does not play, I will be looking at Mario Hezonja at 3.4. This is going to be a good one. If THJ does not play, Hezonja picked up some pretty good minutes yesterday while he was out. So he came back. THJ came back and went back to the locker room, and then I think he came back out. But I don't know if he played the rest of the game or not. But Hezonja will definitely be on the radar. Mitchell Robinson at 4.4, 26 plus minutes in his last two. He's a pretty good athlete. I think that he's at 4.4. He's in very viable play. So Wendell Carter Jr. obviously at 6.1 for Chicago. He's been really good. Levine at 8K. Obviously, if he's pricey, but we know that he grabs the usage off from Chicago. Still got those guys out. So Levine, don't hate it. Antonio Blakeney at 3.7. He's been scoring well. He didn't do it last game, but the game or two before that, he had pretty good scoring totals. So wouldn't care to punt him at 3.7. Moving on to the Pelicans at OKC. Here's your chalk game of the night. 237 on the total. OKC -4. We all know this game is going to be the chalk. But I believe you have to get it in. I mean, you got to play this game. Russ, PG, I think Jeremy Grant at 4.4K is real nice. 25-plus minutes in every single game so far. He's had over 30 fantasy points, I think, his last two. Doing really well. Jeremy Grant, not a bad look. For the Pelicans, obviously Drew Holiday at 8.3 running the point has been really good. Really good. I like Nico Mirotic again at 8.1, and obviously AD at 11.3 if you can fit it. There's not very many huge studs on this game other than, Golden State has a couple. Really, AD, you should have no problem paying up for AD if he's probable. He should play. There's really, other than, KD, Steph, that's really the only other things that I see that you would want to pay up for on this slate. So this game is the one you need to game stack. I know it's going to be chalky. There's nothing you could do about it. It has the highest total by far, and it's you're talking about two top 10 pace teams here with OKC and the Pelicans. So I would say it's probably not the night to get cute and fade this game. Absolutely not. Play it as much as you can. Get all the kinds of exposure you can to it. Boston at Denver. I mean, this game, 207 on the total, Denver -2.5. Jokic seems to be a nice play here. He's one that you might want to pay up for. I don't know if I will. Like I said, it's a pretty dang low total. And, I could see Jokic here. I don't hate it. I think it's not a bad play at all. Gary Harris, I really like at 6.1. I think he's probably my favorite play in this whole game. Paul Millsap at 5.6. I don't think he's very cheap. He has 30 to 35 point fantasy point upside. So if you want to play Millsap, I don't hate that at all. For Boston, Kyrie at 7.7 I think is a decent look. Terry Rozier at 4.4 is a nice cheap one if you want to go that way. And I also like Marcus Morris at 5.8. They're going to need his size down low, and he should see 25, 30 minutes. So Marcus Morris at 5.8, I like that. That's really all that, I'm not a big fan of Tatum. Tatum just hasn't really, it's on the road in Denver in altitude. I'm not a big fan of most Boston there. I'd really rather play more Denver. Jokic, Harris, Millsap, Trey Lyles even maybe. That's, maybe Plumlee if you're getting freaky. That's about it. So Toronto, Utah, no line here. We don't know if Kawhi's going to play. He sat out last night. If he does play, I think he might be the only other one you might want to pay up for. Obviously, if he does, he's going to get most of the usage. We know my boy Kyle Lowry put up almost 70 fantasy points last night. I did have him in my lineup last night, and he did help me cash. He's just been, his price is finally getting up there. It's 8.6 now. I probably won't play him tonight because it's just probably not the best matchup. But I will be looking at Kawhi. I will be looking at Jonas Valanciunas at 5.3. He should play some good minutes tonight. Serge Ibaka played 35 or 37 last night. Jonas should see some minutes, especially with down low with Rudy. I think they're gonna have to play him. So I would be looking at Jonas. I would be looking at Kawhi. Maybe Siakam. I don't know. He's 5.7 or closer to 6K, but or closer to 5.5 maybe. Just not too awful. I don't think he's a terrible play. If you want to play Siakam, I don't hate it. Utah, I like Rudy. I like Gobert, 8K. Their guard play with Donovan Mitchell out is going to rely on either looks like Alec Burks might be back tonight. He's 3.2. Not the greatest matchup, as I mentioned. You can look at Crowder at 5.3, Rubio at 6K. I don't hate. Royce O'Neal at 3.5. I mean, I would rather probably play Burks tonight if he's playing over Royce O'Neal because Burks is probably going to see more minutes. Moving on, that's it. That's really all I care for. Memphis at Golden State. Golden State here, minus 14, 220 on the total. This is your second because Minnesota and the Clippers doesn't have a line yet. This is your second highest total on the board. Last year, every time that they played in Golden State, Memphis gave them a good game. So I could see this game hitting in the 230, 235 range. So, some exposure to this game I think is pretty good. I like KD at 10-1. I like Dre. I think Draymond's very cheap here at 7.4. Very, very cheap here at 7.4. I really like Draymond. I will be fitting him in. For Memphis, I like Gasol at 7.9. I like Conley at 7.8. And I like Shelvin Mack. Shelvin Mack's been playing really well. 31+ in his last 3 games. 4.2K. Yeah, I like Shelvin Mack tonight as a nice, cheap pace up, guard play right there at 4.2. That's very, very, very cheap. For the minutes he's been getting. He's pretty much pushed Wayne Selden out of the way. He's getting all the backup minutes behind Conley and at the 2 guard spot too. So I definitely would be looking at Mac. So that's really all that I care about in that game, to be flat out honest. Like I said, Steph, if he's going to have the worst matchup, it's obviously going to be against Conley. So I think I want to stay off of Steph. I think I'd rather pay, for Russ and go from there. So I really like Russ. Obviously, he's in a great spot and a great, pace-up matchup. So anyway, Minnesota at LA. My sneaky game stack. Well, it's not really a game. It's a team, and it's the Clippers. I think they have a lot of potential here, but. Boban at 4.5 looks to be getting the start again. We know at 4.5K, we know what he can do. We've seen what he did last game. Don't hate it, really like it actually. The Bobby and Toby, connection here. Tobias Harris at 7.2, sure. Gallinari at 6.3, sure. Lou Williams is coming around 39 or 31 plus in his last 2. 31 plus fantasy points at 5.7, sure. Even Harrell at 5.5. Yeah, I like it. I like every single one of those guys. I think this is a very nice team stack that you could do. For Minnesota, obviously Butler plays. He sat out last night on the front end of the back-to-back, so I think he should play tonight. Butler's obviously in play. I think Towns is in play, even against Boban. Towns is 8.5K, I think, or 8.8. He's pretty damn cheap tonight. Butler's, I think, 8K around. I don't hate Wiggins, but I don't think I'll be playing him at 6'3". It's just not a favorable. He just really hasn't been showing me much. Okogie, of course, if you want to play him, I have no problems. He's been a nice punt play. He's been getting a lot of minutes. So, anyway, with that being said, some of my more, like I said, Pelicans, OKC, get it in. Don't be shy. Play that game up. I really like that game. I really think that you can game stack the Memphis and Golden State game. Obviously, I think more people are going to play the Pelicans and OKC game, so I think that game is pretty sneaky. I hate to say that a Golden State game is sneaky because it never is, but in this retrospect, with playing against Memphis, everybody, they're 14 home favorite, 14-point home favorite here. We know that the Golden State should, on paper, annihilate this team, but I'm telling you, Memphis always plays them pretty tight at home when they play in Golden State. They did last season. Both the games, and I won a pretty good amount of money on that game. I think the first game they played in Golden State, I actually had a Grizzlies stack, and they actually went to overtime. So I would not be, afraid to play that game. Obviously, like I said, I really like the Minnesota and Clippers game. I really like the Clippers. So other than that, like I said, it's pretty dry tonight. I like the Toronto and Utah game. I think it's got some potential. I like the Utah side a little bit more. I think it just has it has a little bit of value in it. And like I said, Kawhi, sure, he should be back. I don't know about how his foot feels or whatever he's doing. Keep an eye on the whole Miami Heat team, as I said. there might be some value, definitely a lot of value open up for that game if those guys are to sit. So it's 15 minutes. I've ran through this game, all the games, 9 games. It's a Monday. Like I said, that's really what I like. I'm not a huge fan of this slate, but anyway, we're going to play because we're degens, so let's get it in. Happy Monday. Hope you guys have a good day, and let's chat later this afternoon in the SD Slack chat. Get in there.